everyone. Hi, welcome. Sorry, we're just kicking off now, so if you can, try and congregate. I'm sorry for the delay. There was a little bit of confusion here about when we were starting, so we're kicking off. Welcome, everyone, to the International Working Women's Day Rally of 2019. Come closer, we won't bite. Before we begin, I'd like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land that we're meeting on today, the Yagara, Turrbal and Quandamooka people. I would like to pay my respect to their elders past, present and emerging, and I would like to acknowledge that the land that we're meeting on today is stolen land, that sovereignty was never ceded, and that decolonisation really should be in the heart of all of the work that we do as activists and as human beings that are occupying and inhabiting this land that we're on today. So, yes. I'd also like to acknowledge the Yagara Uragapu people who, thank you, who are currently in the thick of one of the most fierce, ferocious and inspiring campaigns to keep their land, their sacred land at Deebing Creek, from private property developers that are trying to move in and turn it into an urban sprawl right now. And I'll come back to that a little bit, but I just want to pay my respects to those people as well. Welcome everyone. Can I just have quickly a show of hands? How many of us have actually been at a feminist International Women's Day event this week across the city? How many of us? That's awesome. We're already all congregating. We've been congregating all week up to this moment. And how beautiful is it that we're all standing together and collectivizing and occupying spaces across the city to express our nuanced visions of what women's liberation means and how we achieve it. It's awesome. And when I refer to women and women's liberation, I refer, of course, to liberation of all people on the margins. People who are trans, queer, people of colour, of size, of different abilities, who are non-binary, gender fluid and more. Whether it be through book launches across the city, poetry slams, women at the front, gigs, DJ sets. I've even heard of some amazing witches. Of course, you better believe that there are witches brewing across the city and celebrating the divine feminine. And through these acts and this act today, we're exploring how to further our shared passions, to uplift and to empower each other. We're putting marginalised voices at the front and centre of this rally today. And that's why I'll be speaking for the least amount of time, so that we may all strive to, These voices are integral and fundamental to movement building, to organising and to our collective achievement. And we stand strong when we stand united. The patriarchal and hierarchical systems that we all struggle beneath can only continue to exist when they keep us divided. And our division is essential to women's oppression, and that is why I'm excited to see all of us diverse, intersectional women and allies standing here as a collective today. Can we give ourselves a round of applause, please? And on this note, I'm very humbled to be introducing each of the uniquely powerful women that will be addressing us today, who will be speaking from a variety of causes that are of terrific importance to our shared goal. And I'd like to take a brief moment to discuss very briefly a short history of International Women's Day and how we've all culminated to share this space together. So International Women's Day began as International Working Women's Day, and we've put this back in the epicenter of this rally because we're highlighting the work, both paid and unpaid, both seen and unseen, that women engage in every day. That work that keeps the wheels turning in our society and every facet of our lives, and it's a formidable and powerful force. In 1909, the socialist movement in America bore the concept of International Women's Day, and this action spread to Germany like wildfire, and they solidified the day on March the 8th. Following on from this, it was exploding all over the world, and in Russia in February of 1917, textile workers, predominantly women, collectivized and marched on the streets for their rights. And this ultimately led to the resignation of the Tsar and eventually into the Russian Revolution. Super. And while I'm, of course, wildly paraphrasing here, the realization of the sheer strength that women possess by our numbers through a shared space of work, resulting in a tangible collective consciousness and the ability to harness that energy and to rally that collective consciousness into a collective will. And this power that we access is truly formidable. When harnessed, we can achieve immeasurably great things. And this is where we come from. We are about to hear, and I will introduce a number of diverse and powerful women who bear the mantle of our forebears and who expand upon their actions to further blaze the trail to equality, equilibrium, and justice. And on that note, on that shared fight and mutual undertaking, I would like to quickly talk about Deebing Creek and the action that is going on there that is being predominantly held and a powerful force by First Nations women and activists who have come together to essentially organize union members, allies, everyone is welcome to go. They were dancing, they've been camping for weeks, they have been collectivizing on their land, their camp, and they've been holding off over 100 police officers. They've been holding off private security guards and this private developer of what is their land, their sacred land. So if any one of us here has ever wanted to find out more about our First Nations people and listen to their stories, this is a perfect opportunity for you to do this. How many of us here have been to Deebing Creek? Okay, and keep your hands up. How many of us are thinking of going to Deebing Creek? Put your hands up. Okay, so there are a lot of us here and this camp needs numbers. The only reason why they were able to keep the developers off their land for this long is because of the collective, unanimous action of every single activist, ally, and First Nations warrior on this land. So please, every single person that is here that knows, come and speak to me. I'm going in the morning. If you need to talk to someone that can encourage you to go, Jasmine is over here. There are plenty of people. Just let's get out there and let's fight for this land. Okay, and now I'd be delighted to introduce our first speaker. Her name is Kamala. And she is an example of the collective power that women can access. We can demand the end of wars, of peace, get our vote, demand reproductive rights and our own bodily autonomy. She's been a long-time activist for many campaigns to end violence against women. She's a trailblazer for reproductive rights and is a doctor and abortion. In abortions in Brisbane as well. And we're so blessed to have her speak to us today. Can we please welcome Kamala?